Welcome to PBS MediaShift's Digital Media Brief, brought to you by NextSpace and NextKids Co-working and Childcare in San Francisco. I'm Mark Glaser, Executive Editor at PBS MediaShift, with guests Julia Beizer from the Washington Post, Ricardo Bilton from Digiday, Cindy Jeffers of Salon, Andrew Lih from American University. The Apple Watch is here, the first wearable device from Apple, which costs from $349 to $10,000 and up. Gadget freaks definitely want them, but what about everyone else? And how will we keep up with news on our watch? Julia, tell us about the Washington Post plan for its watch app.
Our plan is to visually storyboard one big story each day with key photos and text to tell the story of a major news event. So whether it's a big plane crash in the news or something as simple as a Washington Post story about how tipping has evolved in the United States, we'll tell that story special for the form factor, in addition to providing an always up-to-date list of headlines.
Great. And Ricardo, what are some interesting ideas from news publishers on the watch?
A lot of it so far is notifications, but there have been two interesting ones that I really like. One is from Epicurious, which is basically making a cooking timer for the watch, right? That works with their Epicurious app on the iPhone to basically give you haptic feedback when you need to take something in the oven, and just walk you through the recipes. That one stood out. Another one has been The Economist, which lets you use the Apple Watch to control the audio edition of the The Economist, which has been interesting. So I think it's those are two that stand out to me. I think a lot of publishers are still figuring out when it comes to personalized notifications, which is going to be big, and also different form factors of finding different ways of telling stories that they've already reported. So I like the Washington Post idea of storyboarding big stories because it's a different way of approaching the form factor. That's not just reporting stories, reporting headlines. So.
Right. And Cindy, tell us about what Salon is doing with their app and how you'll deal with amount of kind of personalization for people.
Well, we're really focused on creating a unified storytelling experience between our iPhone app and our watch app. And that really comes down to and starts with, as the editors are writing, like really thinking about that headline in terms of a story summary as well. And we've already got that happening in other parts of our product, and that will also launch with the watch app. But the device really provides a platform that is entirely new in terms of this constant stream of data, and so allowing people to personalize their experience, customize what types of content they're getting when. We've really balanced that with continuing to have that element of discovery, which really does drive a lot of the growth with our users, but also just general interest varies so much, even outside of what people tend to think is their interest set and think of when they're trying to customize the experience. So I think headlines and the ability to personalize that content are going to be very important, but then also the interplay between the watch app and the iPhone app is important, as well as other devices that may come along that the watch can interact with.
And Andrew, tell us, this is just version 1 of the watch. What do you think Apple can do to improve the watch in future versions?
Right, just like the original iPod, this watch is very much reliant on another device. It is tethered to your iPhone. It works with Apple products only. It's limited in terms of how much it can talk on its own to the rest of the world. But same way that iPod morphed into an iPod with Wi-Fi and the iPhone, you can imagine the future for the Apple Watch is pretty bright if you think about it as a standalone device, plays well with other devices and other platforms. So there's a lot of great potential out there. Something I have to think about, or we have to think about, is whether this is going to be a Google Glass or whether it's going to be an iPad. Like, is it going to be immediately resonant with the average consumer and has something that get integrated into their lifestyle fairly quickly, or is it going to have kind of a geek factor or a dork factor to it, even worse? And do you feel ridiculous talking into your watch and interacting with it in ways that might not be comfortable in public? So that's still to be seen, but 2.3 million sales overnight, not at all bad. And if Apple has shown that what they can do is they can take something that was previously in the province of geeks and turn it to something mainstream and attractive.
Right, and basically make us feel like we need something that we don't.
Right.
So thanks for joining us for the Digital Media Brief from PBS MediaShift, brought to you by NextSpace and NextKids. Learn more about our pioneering program combining co-working and childcare at nextspace.us/nextkids. We'll catch you next week.